Chris Brown is a menace, and he reminds us each and every time that he is never going to change. The fact that you left a comment on an Instagram that is petitioning to keep you from performing because of your past. This is the reason why you have a documentary that is going to talk about your long history of the things that you have done and that you will never stop. And I hope this documentary puts a stop to you. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck
on. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another King of Reads video, child. I hate to start off like this, but you know what? If there's anybody who irritates me because of their ignorance and their failure to take any type of accountability, it is a Chris Brown. But girl, we got to talk about that. I hope y'all week has been good. I hope y'all month has been good. We are 15 days into October and she is zooming. 15 days already. We are almost done with the month. We're almost in Christmas. Like, girl, it's a lot going on. It's about to be November. And I'm hoping I get some chitlins this Thanksgiving, but we'll see. But I hope y'all week has been good. We got a couple of things to get into. We got to talk about Chris Brown, the documentary, and how they are petitioning him from performing in South Africa. We got to get into that. We also got to talk about Trump wading in the water. Homeboy was standing. Might as well have been standing on the sun because he was so confused. Standing right there looking at the crowd confused for 38 minutes while music played. And when they asked him about some stuff, he was even more confused. We got to talk about that. We got to get into the Harris campaign and talk about what's going on with that because homegirl she's in it. She is doing interviews everywhere. She's doing an interview with Fox News. She's doing an interview with possibly Joe Rogan. She's doing an interview with Charlamagne right now, town hall discussion or something. And she also sat down with the Shade Room. I got thoughts on all of that. Sure, we're going to get into it. We got to get into that. We also got to get into a little bit of Diddy situation. I'm tired of the Diddy updates. But I also want to talk about Bow Wow and his response and talking about how he misses the Diddy parties. Y'all celebrities, it's just, y'all just can't shut up. Y'all just can't shut up. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and get to this mental health check-in. What is going on, y'all? I am, struggling. I'm struggling trying to find the creativeness this month. I don't know what's going on. I just haven't been able to find this month. I've just not been as productive as I would like to be. September, I showed out. I had fun in September. Like, I was doing it. But this month's been a little bit of struggle, maybe because I was burnt out after September and I'm feeling it, but I am getting back into it. Talking about a couple of things. I did a video about the election and things that's going on. I really enjoy doing that because I dived into a full discussion about what is going on. And also did a video about like anti-fatness and weight loss and how everybody's on Wegovy and Ozempic. Talked about that. And that's going to be on Patreon, period. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to I'm getting into it. Like I'm finding my way and I'm finding it. And trying to get to the things, trying to get to it as best as I can. And child, ADHD is a struggle, child. It is a struggle. And I guess like the time change and everything's going on is kind of like it's getting dark early and all that. I love the cold weather. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I'm ready to turn my air off. I got it on right now, but the fact I haven't had to have it on as much, baby, I can't deal with no another $200 light bill. I can't. I want them $80 light bills to come back. I already have the heat. So the cold ain't gonna do nothing to me, child. I turn the air on at night to go to bed at 66 degrees. Yes, I have to. Yes. Do you know you have 30 minutes?
30 minutes. 30, yes.
That's all I got in my mental health check-in, child. Not too much. I ain't gonna give y'all too much tea. I already gave a lot of tea already talking about my experience dating a pathological liar for almost 2-3 months, child. What? That whole thing, oh my gosh, exclusive Patreon content, child. I had to do 2 videos. I had to do a censored one and an uncensored one. So check it out if you can. Support me if you want. I love that. But let's go ahead and get to this tea for today. The tea for today is Chris Brown is a menace to society. Breaking news. We are not surprised. Chris Brown has been like this for a minute. As much as folks try to defend him, hey, Kelly Rowland. As much as people try to defend Chris Brown, he reminds us each and every day that he is never going to change. Never going to change, has no reason to. And I hope this petition that is happening right now in South Africa keeps him from performing. An organization movement called Women for Change in South Africa are petitioning against Chris Brown performing, and they did a video and just talked about their reasons and just named it. And Chris Brown commented under it and said he can't wait to come. He could have ignored it. Like, it's likely that he is still going to perform, because some of these folks do not be caring about stuff like that. They just, like, is money being made? That's all that matters. He could have ignored it. And the fact that he commented on the Instagram and said this, the fact that he commented to antagonize them speaks to his character. These are signs of a person who is abusive. Like, you're doing things to manipulate and to antagonize. Like, you're doing stuff for a reaction. Like, this is what this behavior is. Like, this is what this behavior is. The comment, can't wait to come. Like, he could have just not said anything. He was bold. He knows how it would look if he come in. He didn't care because there is no repercussion. So when folks talk about, oh, like they're trying to cancel Chris Brown, there can't be canceled. They can try to get this concert canceled, but he can go somewhere else and sell tickets. I mean, did y'all see how many of the R&B girls was out at his performance when he was at these other concerts and stuff? You see how many girls came out and was at his concert? You see how many folks were, like, you know, defending him? You see Kelly Rowland was defending him, like, you know, and folks, you know, be shook and shocked like that. Folks be out here supporting R. Kelly, like, you know, they don't care. Like, these folks do not care. Like, we be looking at them sideways, and look at these folks around my age out here, like, feeling like they really have to defend Chris Brown. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm actually interested in donating to this campaign, to be honest, Women for Change, because, like, this is disgusting. Like, this is disgusting. Like, to comment and say, I can't wait to come. Like, that sounds like an abusive ex-boyfriend. And he has a history doing that. I mean, we heard about how he responded to Karrueche when they broke up. Like, how he moves on women who are no longer interested in him, and how he, you know, continues to antagonize them. Like, that's him. This is the toxic character of him. And it's very violent, to be honest. I'm going to be honest. It's very violent. But this is Chris Brown. So currently right now, there is a documentary that is coming out soon about Chris Brown. The documentary is going to be focusing on his history and his pattern of abuse, and it's going to be on the ID channel. The documentary is going to be dropping on October the 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be watching it. I am curious of how they're going to do it, because I want it to be done in a very, like, clean way where it's not messy, but it's talking about the history and the pattern. I don't want too much like sound bites and trying to make this viral and all that other stuff. Just tell the story and make it good. But I don't want to get into this thing where, you know, a lot of these documentaries are focused more on the attention and all of that than focusing on actually what happens. Like, you know, I don't want it to turn into, we got to wait on a documentary on these folks and they out here making money off. Like, I just don't want it to turn into that. Like, you know, I'm just nervous about that, because we've been seeing this a little bit. But it's going to be interesting how this plays out, because it took so much in a documentary on R. Kelly for, you know, his inevitable end, or him being, you know, locked up or whatever. So I wonder what this is going to do, because I think the presence of folks who do not believe that he is this person, believe that that was a one-time thing, and that folks can make you be abusive, you know, it's still strong. So I'm not sure if this will sway them, but I do believe if folks be shown, you know, a pattern to explain, like, hey, this person has not changed, it might change how folks see him. I don't know. We will see. Let's move on. Let's talk about Trump wading in the water, child. Supposed to be taking some questions and answering the questions and stuff. And he said, no, play another song. So he's just, music is playing, confused, doesn't know what's going on. Like, for 38 minutes. Do you know you have 30 minutes?
30, yes.
And they asking him, like, hey, what do you want to play the song? He just like, what song? Baby, Kamala Harris responded and said, I hope he's okay. I'm screaming. Now, what is funny is that, you know, people seem to now be concerned about mental capacity and all these things, but a couple of months ago, that wasn't the thing. It's just the tables turn. It's just like, like it's something not right. Something doesn't seem right. This is not like him. We've never seen him like this. But I talked about this on Patreon. Like, Donald Trump is not the same as he was in 2016. He doesn't have the same energy. He doesn't have the charisma as much as he used to. He used to be very snappy and all that other stuff. Like, he's slower. He is not as sharp as he used to be. His debate performance have went down. That's why I was like, you know, Biden and that whole situation, child, it should have been better. It should have been better, but the battle of the decrepit, I guess, child. It's just two white men, child. It's just, I don't know. Gonna be interesting to see how that goes. Because we got, what, 3 weeks before the election? Girl, we're going to see where it goes. Moving on, since we're talking about it, let's talk about Kamala Harris and her interviewing, you know, with the Shade Room, sitting down with them. Supposed to be sitting down with Fox News, possibly sitting down with Joe Rogan. Like, Hunger is in the final stretch. She is trying to get her face in front of all these folks and do the things. Like, she's trying to get her face out there. I do not blame her. It's just the Shade Room. I don't know why. I don't think she should have sat with the Shade Room. And people will say, oh, you know, she's getting in front of these folks who are, you know, getting misinformation and all the other stuff and da-da-da. She's finding the people where they are. Yes, you do need to find the people where they are. You need to find the people where they are. The people are just not necessarily in the Shade Room. These folks just don't live in the Shade Room. These folks are, you know, everywhere else. They're at work. They're at the park. They're at these restaurants. Like, you need to be doing more of those. You need to be showing up in the doors. You need to be doing that. So I feel like that's a cop-out to say, oh, she's going where they are. She's also legitimizing the Shade Room. The Shade Room is notorious for posting clickbait type of stories, misinformation. They've had to retract so many things. Sometimes they don't even retract stuff. They just post stuff for clickbait. A lot of them do that. There is no repercussions. They're not a legitimate news organization, point blank, period. You can talk about gossip, celebrity stuff, and be factual. There's a way to do it. But the Shade Room constantly, you know, is engaging in transphobia on their platform, posting stuff. Like, you don't legitimize them. You do not do that. Sit next to them. Like, it should have been a conversation like, hey, y'all need to be doing more. Like, y'all are posting like thoughts on a trans person. Like, what is wrong? Are y'all okay? Like, what? Like, they know they be doing. They see all of the things that happens in the comments and stuff, and then want to say we don't encourage bullying. Like, y'all do because y'all want to get the engagement, but y'all don't want to deal with the ramifications of it. All to sell, like honey coochie pots on y'all Instagram. Like, girl, it's a mess to me. So yeah, she sat down with them. She's supposed to be talking to Joe Rogan. And I see her just trying to get the attention and stay in front of the news cycle and stuff, because the steam from the announcement and stuff kind of worn off a little bit. And people probably feeling a little fatigue again with the most important election of our lifetimes. Again, it's just like, girl, we're burnt out. Currently, she's talking to Charlamagne the God for a town hall type of thing. And let me tell you this. Baby, Trump released that ad with Charlamagne and DJ Envy talking about incarcerated like trans folks. Like, that ad was for black men. That ad was to shave off more black men from voting for Harris. And it's going to be interesting if transphobia is the thing that ends up costing this election. I talked about that. Like, it would be very interesting if that, like, because playing into that is now like, y'all don't understand how dangerous that rhetoric is. Like, and they're using this, y'all words against y'all. And now these people who are listening to y'all are going to feel inclined to either not vote or vote for Trump because of this. Like, something that has nothing to do with them. Like, y'all already understand that black folks are already disproportionately incarcerated. and this is in California, and anybody who is incarcerated should have at least some access to care, all types of forms of care, even if it's gender affirming care. Like, I just like to boil this down to just like it, and it's just like even if you probably look at the numbers, it's not even that much, but it's big enough that the idea around it, mix it with a lot of black folks in their social conservative ways, like it just, this is what we got. This is what we got. Misinformation down. It's really unfortunate, to be honest, but it is what it is. Like I said, I talked about it in more in depth in the video on Patreon, so check it out if you want, and make sure you be respectful, period. Moving on, let's talk about Diddy a little bit. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm tired of talking about it. Right now, lawsuits are piling up from people who are suing Diddy, and his lawyers are asking that some of these people who are accusing him of things, these alleged victims, their identities need to be released to the public. And y'all know how that goes. Also, Diddy has posted a picture of his daughter wishing her a happy birthday. She just turned 2. And the comments are off. Like, it is, woo, baby. Like, you know, wishing her a happy birthday via social media is just basically him softening his image. It's, again, like I told you all, having him being shown as a family man. He has kids, and you know, a person who has kids would not do things like this. To hear celebrities like Bow Wow talk about he misses the parties and things, and he wasn't talking about the freak offs per se. He was talking about like the after parties and stuff after, you know, the awards and whatever.
He's like the gatekeeper to the game, to the point to where what weekend just passed? Like BET Award weekend, it didn't, like the past 2, they just didn't feel right. Because there was no motion, there was no parties. I'm talking about him as the artist, the person, right? How monumental and how important he was to the culture. Because I said, Jermaine, there's no parties.
It's just Bow Wow said this in an interview podcast with Roxy. It's just like, why do you feel the need to even mention parties right now? Like, you're seeing all these stories, all these things that have happened, and you are saying, oh, like, I just missed the parties, like, you know, the parties and stuff. And he also talked about, you know, it's unfortunate to see this stuff happen to him because he was this person. He was a leader. He was a gatekeeper and all the other stuff. And it's just, all of these things y'all are saying is not in support of the victims. Y'all are talking about yourselves. Y'all talking about you having access to parties. You seeing him as a figure, like a person who is in the industry that you are in. Like, y'all don't care about the victims. Y'all care that this happened and it got out. Like, y'all upset that it came out. Like, these stories are happening. The way y'all speak about it, it's not that y'all have regret about people being harmed. It's y'all having regret for somebody y'all have respect for, like, doing this. Like, this is why I can't take these folks serious, because they knew these things were going on. I don't care what nobody say. Like, folks knew these things were going on. And yes, we can have a conversation about how celebrities and stuff may have manipulated folks around them and say, hey, these folks out to get me. These are haters and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, all these things. And it's just, girl, like, some of y'all had to know, period. And the fact that y'all ain't saying nothing after y'all now know was like, if y'all did know at said time, which y'all have cared, because y'all don't seem to care now. Like, convenient, I think. But yes, like, Diddy, it's not looking good. I think he has a trial set for sometime next year, 2025. Yeah. Now, check this out. Diddy trial is going to start the same weekend as the Met Gala in 2025. What's interesting about this is the Met Gala is going to be centered around Black men fashion in a particular era. I'm not a fashion girl, but look up the Met Gala and the theme for 2025. It's around Black men. Girl, it's a lot going on. Child, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not funny, but it's just, you know, it's going to be interesting how the conversation happens around this, like how celebrities going to talk, and like, it's just so many things. It's just so many things. That's all I got. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe if this is your first time, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.